This phone shouldn't feel this complete, at this price. And that's exactly what caught me off guard. Because usually when you hear mid-range smartphone, you already expect the compromises. Weaker performance. Average cameras, battery that gets you through the day. Barely. But after using this phone as my daily phone for a while, I started noticing something different. This phone isn't trying to win on paper. It's trying to win in real life. And that's a very different approach. So today, I want to walk you through what it's actually like to live with the OPPO F33 Pro. From the first impression, all the way to the final buying decision. The first thing you notice when you pick up the F33 Pro is how light it feels. And in a world where phones keep getting heavier and bulkier, that's refreshing. At around 194 grams and just about 8 millimeter thick, this is a phone you can actually use comfortably for long periods. One-handed use feels natural. Extended scrolling doesn't feel tiring, and that alone improves the daily experience more than most people expect. The back design is also interesting. There's a subtle 3D depth effect that gives the phone a sense of movement when light hits it. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it adds personality. The Misty Forest variant, in particular, looks clean and elegant, with silver accents that elevate the overall feel. Even though the finish might look slightly plastic at first glance, the frame underneath feels solid, and in hand the phone feels more premium than you'd expect in this category. Camera module houses 2 individual sensors alongside a distinctive ring LED flash. The module remains almost flush with the body, ensuring stability while the smartphone lies flat on the surface. Durability is another area where OPPO clearly put effort. Furthermore, the F33 Pro is rated to withstand high temperatures up to 85 degrees Celsius in high-pressure jets, thanks to its IP69K and IP68 ratings. Luckily, our usage of the device went without any accidents. Not just careful desk use. The handset ships with military-grade durability to protect it from minor drops and falls. The company has gone with an aerospace-grade alloy frame with multi-layer airbag cushioning and AGC star screen protection. The display is one of the easiest parts of this phone to like. You're getting a 6.57-inch AMOLED panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate. And in daily use, it just works. Colors are vibrant, blacks are deep, contrast is strong. Watching videos, scrolling social media, or just browsing feels smooth and enjoyable. The 120 Hz makes a difference. Everything feels fluid. Animations feel clean. And once you get used to that smoothness, it's hard to go back. Brightness goes up to around 1400 nits, and in real life, that means outdoor visibility is actually good. Using the phone under direct sunlight doesn't feel like a struggle. That's something mid-range phones usually get wrong. But not here. The F33 Pro offers a dual speaker setup with 300% audio boost. I've no complaint about the loudness here, but the speakers at maximum volume need further optimization to sound clearer than muffled. Under the hood, the F33 is powered by a MediaTek Dimensity 6360 Max chipset that is clearly built for efficiency rather than raw, breakneck gaming power. Paired with 8 GB of RAM and up to 256 GB of storage. While it handled apps like WhatsApp, Chrome, and light multitasking, I did notice a slight stutter when switching between multiple heavy applications. It's paired with vapor chamber cooling system. The smartphone can handle gaming as well. It tested with popular titles like PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty, where it delivered average frames figures in line with its rivals. However, thermals were slightly on the higher side while playing PUBG for 30 minutes, heating up by nearly 7 degrees. That said, gameplay remains smooth and stable. If you're still watching at this point, respect. You're built different. For the battery life and software, the OPPO F33 Pro boots Android, 16-based, ColorOS 16 out of the box. The experience remains pretty much the same as the other smartphones the OPPO has launched lately, including the flagship Find X9 Ultra. The similarities extend to the pre-installed apps. The handset comes with up to 66 apps, of which 12 are pre-installed. Users can customize and personalize the smartphone with dynamic wallpapers, widget support, and the option to remove some pre-installed apps. There is a suite of OPPO AI features as well, including Recompose, Eraser, clarity enhancer, reflection remover, unblur, and more. The sizable 7,000 mAh battery fuels the smartphone. Over an hour of mixed use, including YouTube streaming and gaming, the battery dropped by around 15%. This is where I think the F33 truly shines. The battery endurance is stellar on a typical day, which for me involves heavy music streaming, constant Slack notifications, and a decent amount of camera use. I still had about 20% left in the tank by the time I went to bed. When you do need a top-up, the phone supports 80-watt super-fast charging, and a charger is included in the box. It takes approximately 50 minutes to juice up the device from 20 to 100%. The device also supports bypass and reverse wired charging. The OPPO F33 Pro sports a dual rear camera setup, comprising a 50-megapixel primary sensor and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. Up front, it sports a 50-megapixel shooter for selfies and video calling. Unfortunately, the video recording is capped at HD with 30 frames. This shouldn't be a deal-breaker, considering the smartphone doesn't cater to content creators. The F33 Pro, on the other hand, caters to casual photographers. It prioritizes a closer-to-reality representation of the scene over details, sharpness, and dynamic range. The primary sensor manages to capture an impressive amount of detail. The dynamic range is quite good, balancing bright highlights and deep shadows effectively. In portraits, as expected, the edge detection is excellent. It creates a natural-looking bokeh that doesn't feel overly robotic or fake. And selfies may appear soft at first glance, but it is quite realistic. The F33 Pro's selfie camera supports an auto zoom-out feature, switching from 1x to 0.6x to accommodate a wider frame and fit in more people. It works well, but only when the phone is turned horizontally. In vertical orientation, the camera would not switch to a wider view, even with multiple people in the frame. In low light with night mode, the latter struggles with noise levels and keeping the light flare to a minimum. Overall, the F33 Pro focuses on realism rather than detail in night photography. The cameras lean towards a more natural and true-to-life output, especially in daylight and selfies, where colors and skin tones appear relatively accurate. Portrait shots are generally pleasing, with good color reproduction, though the bokeh can be a bit inconsistent at times. In the end, so should you buy the OPPO F33? Honestly, for the right user, yes. This is not a phone that wins on specs, it wins on experience. Battery life is excellent. Display is smooth, the design is comfortable, performance is stable, and camera is natural. It's not exciting on paper, but in real life, it works. And sometimes, that's exactly what people need. If you enjoy calm, experience-driven reviews like this, consider subscribing. More honest tech reviews are coming very soon. And let me know in the comments, would you choose a balanced phone like this or go for raw performance instead? Thanks for watching, and goodbye.